Hey everybody, Rockin' Robbie Billups here, and it's time for another Robbie Rants. Today we'll be talking about the new Supergirl TV series from CBS, or as I like to call it, Superman's an Asshole. Alright, so Supergirl launched just recently on CBS. It airs on Monday nights. I think it goes right up against Gotham. Of course, being a big superhero guy, I have to check it out. Melissa Benoist is playing Kara Zor-El, who is coming from Krypton. She arrives here in much the same manner as her cousin Kal-El, who is Superman, right? Superman was rocketed from the dying planet Krypton and came to Earth. Kara Zor-El was 13 or so, right? So she's actually the older cousin, and she was sent to look after her younger cousin, Kal-El. She winds up trapped in the Phantom Zone, a place where time doesn't really matter. It's in between realities, if you will. And so she arrives at Earth as she escapes the Phantom Zone a little too late, and Superman has already grown up and made a name for himself. And so they find her, and this is the story in the comic books, and the show itself is alright. It's a little cliche in its writing and its characters. It's just a little weak, okay? And of course, the first episode, they rushed through the introduction and the origin. Now, understand, because people get tired of superhero origins, they just want to get to it. So they did a good job of trying to get everything into one episode. It also has some pretty cool effects, and overall, it was kind of enjoyable. I will continue watching the show, because it didn't tell me that I didn't want to watch this TV series, but it could have been a whole lot better. But it's also just the pilot. It can get a whole lot better too. But my big problem with the Supergirl TV series is that it makes Superman out to be a complete and total asshole, alright? So, Superman is Superman when Kara comes to Earth. So, we have a situation where Superman finds his older cousin, but now he is the older cousin. He is there to be the mentor, and he doesn't. He's completely not a mentor to Supergirl at all in her life, at least according to the first episode of this show, what they have given us. So he takes her and he drops her off with an adoptive family on Earth to learn what it's like to be human. Now that's cool, I get it, because it's the same thing that happened to him with Jonathan and Martha Kidd. However, he apparently makes no attempts to contact her within the time of her growing up on Earth, because Jimmy Olsen shows up, or James Olsen, he shows up and she is starstruck and is begging him to tell her what her cousin Superman is like. So obviously Superman has not been a presence at all in her life. Basically, he took a very young and confused woman and just dropped her off with adoptive parents and just dipped out, okay? That's an asshole move, alright? And there's no contact and there's no help. She has to now acclimate to Earth, to our culture. You gotta understand, Superman was a baby. So, he was naturally raised to be human. She was already a young teenager when she was sent, so she had already developed and formulated her own mind and consciousness around the culture of Krypton. And this would be a completely just unnerving and out of the ordinary experience for her. And the sense of loneliness, your race just died. And that's so, Superman didn't have to really live with that so much, but she knew the people that she had lost. So he's there of no help to her at all in, in becoming a part of Earth and adapting to life here and getting over the horrific events that she just witnessed and went through. She just lost her parents, and she's cognizant of that. Superman didn't really remember Jor-El, but she remembers her father and mother, you know what I'm saying? So he's of no help to her there, and he's of no help to her with these powers. She's going to develop these crazy powers, and he's not there to help her learn. Who better to teach her how to use Kryptonian powers on Earth, except for a Kryptonian on Earth? Okay. So she decides to become Supergirl, and she's struggling to learn how to fight and to use these powers, and Superman is not there at all to help her out. In fact, he sends James Olsen, which is kind of an asshole move too. It's almost like, hey homie, you're kind of annoying me. Would you go to National City and keep an eye on my cousin? I'm sure she's about to become a superhero, and please stop telling everybody you're my pal. But I don't know. I like the character of Olsen in the show, actually. I like that he's not goofy and just stupid. I always thought Jimmy Olsen was just dumb because it was like Archie running around with Superman, and I thought Superman was a little bit more than that. But Superman is such an important character to our American mythology and what he represents. And if you want Kara to basically take on his name and become, Supergirl or Superwoman, but, to take on his icon, and there's no inspiration behind it because we can't relate to the fact that Superman's not a good guy because he's like an absentee father in her life, if that makes sense. He should have been there, and the show is obviously laying out that he wasn't. Now, I know they don't want to do a show about Superman. There are many different ways to go about getting around that. Other ideas you could have are that he's missing, that he went off missing into the Phantom Zone, or that he went off into space to on some kind of quest, on some kind of journey, on some kind of mission or adventure, okay? He's just not on Earth. Totally plausible, and you can have a backstory of him being a part of her life, and then it makes sense that she would want to carry on and continue his legacy and his name. But the show just didn't do it for me. It actually made Superman out to be an asshole, and I think that's wrong. So, many other ways they could have done it. I'm sure the show could blossom and develop that a whole lot more in the future. And it just seems weird to me that him not being a part of her life doesn't affect her. She's just such a fangirl, if you will, about it. Like, there should be some kind of angst there. There should be something about, where were you? I needed you. Because she needed Superman, and he wasn't there. So Supergirl, the TV series, makes Superman out to be an asshole. Maybe they'll rectify that. Maybe they'll change it. Maybe it's something they're using for future storylines. I'm eager to find out. I hope you are too. Thanks for watching the video. New Robbie Rants coming up very, very soon. Please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.